This is a video I've wanted to make for a while, but I don't know, it's tricky to talk about a little bit. My college long-term relationship ended a couple months ago. It was a rough breakup. Because I am an avid overthinker, since then I've had a lot of thoughts about love and relationships and dating in your 20s and marriage, and I just wanted to get it off my back a little bit. Maybe some of you can relate to it too. I've mentioned this before on my channel, but one analogy that has stuck with me for a long time is that dating is like a deck of cards. Each person that you date is a card in this deck of cards, and each card has a number, and that number is how compatible you are with the other person. So as you date, you can only see one number at a time, and you don't know if that card is going to be the highest number in the stack, or if somewhere in the shuffle there's going to be a higher number. And that is just so difficult to figure out. In my last relationship, we loved each other dearly. We took care of each other. We quarantined together and we didn't get sick of each other. And overall, I had someone that loved for me and cared for me and somebody that I enjoyed being around. And it's like, can you ask for any more than that? I feel like you can have two schools of thought about this. You can be like, oh, I deserve the best, so I'm just gonna stick it out for a guy that checks all the boxes. But it's like, is it even possible to find a guy that checks all the boxes? And the other school of thought is just don't fix what ain't broke. So if you're in a functional, loving relationship, why should you ask for anything more? Maybe this question is irrelevant. Maybe we just like take whatever we are given in life. Take whoever tolerates us. I don't know. The other thing is just like, how can you be sure that somebody is good for you? Because when you're in love, the judgment part of your brain shuts down. So it's very hard to view your significant other in an unbiased way. And I guess that's what your friends are for, but I don't know, no one's gonna know them like you know them, right? Regardless of how compatible my partner and I were in my last relationship, at the end of the day, I'm only 22. You know? I still feel like a baby, and I don't feel like I could commit to another person in the one day I'm gonna marry you kind of way. Like, college relationships are one thing, but continuing your relationship outside of college is a whole other level of commitment. And I don't know, sure, people settle down at my age, but what do you know at 22? The answer is nothing. You don't know anything. And so like, how do you look at another person and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you for the rest of my life? I was on set a few weeks ago talking to an older man that I had met, and on set we have a lot of downtime to like chat and whatever, so I'm just like, I'm 22, what life advice do you have for me? He had gone through a divorce and he had gotten remarried, and he and his wife were just super cute. They were always together, always holding hands, very lovey and affectionate. And he was like, when you meet the one, you'll know. And I was like, that is completely unhelpful, sir. How is that really supposed to happen? So I suppose now I just go about my merry way as a single person in my early 20s and date, right? Yes. Dating in 2021. As someone who has dipped my toe back into dating since the ending of my relationship, albeit somewhat unintentionally, dating hurts. Dating is weird, you know, with hookup culture, casual relationships, open relationships, Tinder, dating apps. It's a difficult environment to navigate. As somebody who feels things deeply because I'm a highly sensitive person, sometimes I just end up unintentionally putting a lot of feelings on the line when I can't help it. And with everything that's happened these last couple of months, I've written almost an album's worth of songs that you would listen to while you're in fetal position crying on your bathroom floor. But that's just where we're at, right? That's just life. So yes, dating fucking hurts. But unfortunately, I am also a hopeless romantic. And I've realized that there's nothing that compares to the feeling of falling in love with someone for the first time, or just starting to get to know someone romantically. Like the honeymoon phase, the beginning of the relationships, like that can only happen so many times. Like yes, when you've been with someone for a long time, you can find ways to rekindle that, but nothing compares to just the beginning, you know? I want to experience that again. I want to have that, because if I settle down with someone, it's something I'm never gonna experience the same way again. We all just want somebody to come home to at the end of the day. Do I wish I had that person? Yes. I also kind of feel like I need to date more before I'm able to figure out who that is. Right? Is that the move? I don't know if dating more is gonna help me answer all of these questions. I was at a job a few months ago and I met this girl, I think she was in her late 30s or early 40s, and she very passionately preached to me that I should never get married. She was like, you can do all the things that a married couple does. You can have a ceremony, you can exchange rings, you can do whatever you want, but just don't sign the piece of paper. She said, don't sign the piece of paper because marriage is what makes divorce lawyers rich, and because it's essentially a legal document binding you to another person. And at the end of the day, shit happens. Like, yes, you're in love and you want to be with this person for the rest of your life. You don't know what's gonna fucking happen, dude. As much as we would like to believe that when you get married, you're gonna lead stable, functional lives, that's just like not how the world works. And due to the inherent uncertainty of life, why would you sign a document that only has the potential to fuck you over in the future? Because like, if you don't sign it, you have nothing to lose, but if you sign it and something goes wrong, you kind of have everything to lose. And I was sitting in a room with that woman that was like, don't get married, and then 3 other adults, and all of them had been divorced, and all of them were just talking about how their partners were addicts and how much money they spent and how good their lawyer was, their retainer and the kids and blah blah blah. And I was just like, oh my god, this is crazy. Just absolutely crazy what these people have had to go through. And I think I've been convinced. I don't think I will legally get married. I definitely understand that like shit happens and you want to prepare yourself for those kinds of things, and that divorces are emotionally and financially devastating. I don't want to go through that. I was gonna say, is it too early for me to think about these things? But like, no, people my age get fucking married, and it's something that I'll probably have to seriously consider in the next 10 years. There's also the question of, due to the fact that life is inherently uncertain and therefore things change all the time and people change all the time, is it even possible to be with one person for the majority of your life? Like, taking marriage out of the picture, I would love to believe that I could have a life partner that I could stick with from when I'm young to when I'm old, but is that realistic? I don't know. I guess I've seen a good amount of dysfunctional relationships, and so I have a hard time believing it. I once met my friend's parents and we were driving somewhere, so I get in the car with them and they just start talking about their wedding day, and my friend's dad was like, oh, she looked so beautiful that day, and I was like, aw. Love is real. I guess if you're lucky enough to find somebody that you're able to be with for a really long time, then you just really won the lottery, I guess. I don't know. Relationships are tough. That's my rant. Sorry, it's kind of depressing, but thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.